We've been working around the clock to recover from the last storm earlier this week before the one that is unfolding right now. And many of our personnel, fortunately, are pre-positioned for this next storm as well. With respect to Long Island, I've been in close contact again with County Executive of Suffolk County, Ed Romaine, and all the local leaders on Long Island. My team's been very engaged with them. Yesterday, I issued a letter to the Army Corps of Engineers calling on them to take a greater role in the recovery process. So what we're concerned about tonight and tomorrow morning is that. And now our attention turns to Western New York and the North Country, which are bracing for a classic lake effect snowstorm starting mid-Saturday. In anticipation of that storm, well, we need to pre-deploy equipment and have contracts in place. And I'm calling up the And again, what I've appreciated from New Yorkers, so many times we've given out these early warnings when the sun may be shining and it doesn't look bad. This is when you stock up on the groceries, get all the fixings for the chicken wings for your Sunday game, whatever you need to do, get them now so you're not caught with having to go out there during bad weather conditions, as we've seen has happened so many times. People get trapped in their cars, whether it's the flooding, whether it's the heavy snowstorms. Please don't go on the roads overnight. We're trying to get the salters out. You'll be hearing from our Commissioner of DOT. We're trying to get the salters out, get the roads ready so they can be as safe as can be. Check in on vulnerable friends and family. In fact, invite them over for a sleepover and have a slumber party and get ready for some pre-gaming as well. And it's going to be bitter cold. Bitter, bitter, bitter cold. Wind chills in the single digits. We haven't had a lot of that this winter, so we're not as accustomed as we are other years. So do whatever you can to stay safe and warm. And for my fellow Buffalo Bills fans, here's the advice. If you have tickets to the game, listen to the forecast, drive safely back and forth. We don't anticipate changes right now, but stay tuned because the weather, Mother Nature is wildly unpredictable. If you don't have a ticket, you just want to come out and have some fun, this might be a better day just to sit home and open up bring out the six-pack, has been advised by leaders in the past, and watch the game from home. It'd be a lot safer and a lot warmer for sure, and allow us to clear the roads easier when there's fewer people traveling on them. So right now we're in regular communications with the county. I just spoke to County Executive Mark Polenkars. I have communication with the NFL. We're talking to Bill Security regarding preparations for the game, making sure we're doing everything in our power to keep people safe for the game. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Bray for any additional details.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that. As the governor said, it's a statewide event. We're particularly concerned Saturday into Sunday about wind, whiteout conditions, and cold in the Buffalo area and the Watertown area. I just want to give some safety tips for individuals. One, because of the wind gusts, we do expect that some people will lose power. We're predicting wind gusts up to 65 miles an hour off of the two lakes. If you lose power and you have a generator, make sure that you use that generator safely. That means outside of your home, at least 10 feet from your home, never inside your home, not in your garage. Make sure you do not use like a gas stove for heating. That's unsafe. Both misuse of a generator and use of a gas stove can cause carbon monoxide poisoning. We do see an increase in carbon monoxide poisoning and deaths related to winter storms. If you lose power and you don't have a generator, the right thing to do is to go to a single room in your home, close the doors, make sure all the people in your home are in the same room with your pets, to huddle together, bundle up as many layers of blankets and clothes as you can do and as you have. And to remember that if you lose power, it may not be safe to go out to seek shelter somewhere else during the storm. If there are active whiteout conditions, not only should you not drive in those, but you shouldn't be walking in whiteout conditions as well. So single room inside your home. In terms of car safety, if you're going to be driving, make sure that you have some snacks, some water, make sure that you have extra blankets. If you do get stuck in your car, remember that if you keep your car running and your tailpipe gets clogged, that can cause carbon monoxide poisoning inside your vehicle. So you want to turn your car on, heat it up, turn your car off, and keep it mostly off, and make sure your tailpipe is clear. For folks with vulnerable family members, vulnerable neighbors, if you have someone in your life that you usually call to check in on them and ask, are they okay? Today is a good day to call them and invite them over to your house for the weekend, to take that checking on our neighbors, checking on our family members a step further, and invite them over to spend the storm with you in your home. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner of Transportation, Marie-Therese Dominguez, to talk about details on the travel and traffic planning.
Hello, Governor and Commissioner Bray. Thank you very much. State DOT operations team has been working 24/7 in preparation for this storm. Our mechanics and our highway maintenance crews are working extremely hard to make sure that all of our equipment is in good working order. All of our residencies across the state are staffed up for 24/7 operations, and certainly in all the impacted areas. We've staged generators across the state in the event that we have any traffic signal outages. That's just an example of some of the equipment and the personnel that we've got ready. In coordination with the State Thruway Authority and the state police, we're beginning at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning. New York State DOT will be issuing a travel ban on empty tractor trailers and tandem trucks on the following state routes in Western New York: the Buffalo Skyway, US Route 219, New York 400, I-190 north of the North Grand Island Bridge, I-290, I-990, the 33, the Kensington Expressway, I-86 in Chautauqua and Cattaraugus counties. Again, a ban will be in effect beginning on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on those state roadways, strictly for empty tractor trailers and tandem trucks. In terms of people and equipment, DOT has more than 3,700 operators and supervisors available statewide, as well as 1,750 large and medium plow trucks, 340 graders, 52 tow plows, and 37 snow blowers. We're deploying additional personnel and equipment to Western New York to include an additional 54 operators, 10 supervisors, 5 equipment operator instructors, 25 plows, 3 snow blowers, and an additional grader. If we need to send more, we certainly are in a position to do so, and we'll make those resource adjustments as needed. One thing that I would mention, much like Commissioner Bray cautioned, some safety tips here. If you're traveling to the city of Buffalo, recognizing that there's a big game that's being played on Sunday, people are going to be traveling from Pennsylvania into the state of New York, and New Yorkers are certainly traveling within Western New York and to Western New York. If you're going on Saturday to the game, travel early in the day, use caution. Watch the weather, listen. Conditions could certainly deteriorate, as Commissioner Bray noted and the governor noted. We could be facing whiteout. It could turn quickly, so be prepared. Our DO teams are going to be out clearing the roads as quickly as we possibly can. We're doing that in coordination with the city and the county resources as well. But the bottom line is we're going to do everything we can to make sure the roads remain safe and open. But make sure that you too, as drivers and users of the roadway system, give our folks enough leeway and enough space and enough berth to do their job. So don't crowd the plow. Give them enough space to actually let them get their work done, because they're just doing it to make sure that you've got a safe roadway to use. The bottom line, Governor, is we're all hands on deck for this storm. We're prepared across the state and ready to go. So thank you very much again, and I'll turn this over to the Director of the New York State Thruway, Frank Hoare.
Thank you, Commissioner. And good afternoon, Governor. Yes, Thruway began preparing days ago for this event. We are already mobilizing and moving all our available resources and assets into place. The Buffalo Division Operations Center at our Buffalo headquarters will open up at 8 a.m. tomorrow. In addition, the Buffalo headquarters will be used as the regional operations center to stage for our colleagues in other state, local, and county agencies. Statewide, we have 700 operators and 400 pieces of equipment ready to work this weekend, and 118,000 tons of salt available to treat the roads. In the Buffalo Division, we have 106 large, medium-duty tow plows, 6 tow plows and 20 loaders, and 2 blowers with more than 37,000 tons of salt on hand. In addition, we are already begun to move additional resources from our New York and Albany Division headquarters. En route now is 6 additional plows, 3 blowers, and operators and mechanics to back up the Buffalo Division. And our Syracuse Division is on standby to move any additional resources that are needed throughout this event. As Commissioner Dominguez referred to, we have our ban on empty trailers and trucks and no tandems. That ban begins at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning, and it begins on the thruway at exit 46, which is Henrietta, and it continues west of Buffalo and then down to the Pennsylvania state line. Again, I ask all our drivers out there to please respect that ban. It's done for the sole purpose of safety, and it's done based on weather conditions. Just a few days ago, we saw what happens when those bans were ignored. In the Western New York region, we had 6 empty tractor trailers tip over, which then completely blocked the road and brought all traffic to a standstill until they could be pulled to the shoulder of the road. So please act responsibly, act respectfully, and honor that ban. Thank you very much.
All right, let's open it to some questions. Anybody have a question?
And Commissioner Sagos is next.
Oh, no.
Well, Governor, speaking of Buffalo, the DOJ.
Thank you, Governor. As the governor mentioned in her remarks, we're closely tracking the potential impacts of a head-on series of winds and rain on the south shore of Long Island, akin to a few days ago where you had 25 to 30 miles an hour coming right from the southeast, which will push some of those waves along the south shore. So we're closely tracking the erosion potential on that. And we're working very closely with our county and town partners down there to protect health and property. As the governor mentioned, she sent a letter yesterday to the Army Corps. Since then, there's been a robust discussion between the state officials and Army Corps officials on their steps forward. And we expect that coordination to continue until we're out of the woods on this particular rain event.
Thank you. At this point, we'll turn over to questions. Bernadette?
Governor, do you agree with the DOJ's decision to pursue the death penalty in regards to the Tops killer who took the lives of 10 Black Buffalo residents?
I believe we're on topic questions right now, but I'll say yes.
Do you have anything else you want to say? I mean, you are from Buffalo, and Western New York, of course, has been waiting for this decision.
No, this complies with the DOJ requirements for what constitutes a death penalty offense. And this community is still reeling from the atrocity of 10 innocent people on May 14th in 2022, simply going about shopping, and were targeted because of the color of their skin by a white supremacist who was radicalized online. So I support the Department of Justice.
Okay.
We're gonna go to Zoom for on-topic questions.
Yes, reporters, please on Zoom, raise your hand and we will call on you as appropriate. Up first, we're going to go with John Campbell from the Gothamist. John, your mic is open.
Hi, Governor. I was hoping you could expand on what we might expect for the rain event in New York City, Long Island, Hudson Valley. Are you expecting any sort of transit delays or taking any action? What kind of preparations are you taking specifically for that part of the storm?
No, again, as I mentioned at the outset, we have not taken our eye off the ball of what's happening here in the downstate area where I happen to be right now. Sun's shining, but by 6 o'clock tonight, we expect the rain to kick up. And again, the volume of rain is not the challenge. It is this much rain on top of the rainfall that already came. So the rivers are already cresting, and the ground is so saturated that it creates vulnerabilities for trees to come down or even compromise roads and bridges. So no, we're taking the downstate event very seriously. Also, we've been very engaged in the restoration of property on Long Island. And that's why we're engaging the Army Corps of Engineers to say yes, which the resiliency plan you put in place for the coastline, the Fire Island area and other places that were so hard hit this time. You put it in place 10 years ago with Superstorm Sandy. But over time, especially our September 29th storm of this year, really eroded and compromised the ability to hold back the ocean, hold back the water. So we're asking for them to go at it again with intensity, cooperating with them, but we want them to move quickly. And this is the conversation I had with County Executive Ed Romaine just yesterday. So no, we are keeping an eye on it. Commissioner Bray, is there anything else on the weather front that people should be aware of based on our up-to-the-minute information from our state-of-the-art weather risk center?
Thank you, Governor. I would just say we do expect potential flash flooding in the Hudson Valley. We have sent a couple swiftwater teams down to pre-stage there from State Fire and our partner agencies. And so I don't expect major transit disruptions at this point, but to stay tuned to your local news for local road closures and to just take your time getting where you're going tonight. Don't rush it.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Commissioner.
much, Commissioner. And our last question, Governor, will come from 7 News in Buffalo. Your mic is open. Go ahead and open your mic.
They're on mute, and I don't know if that's on our end or their end.
Okay, you got me?
Okay.
This is actually 7 News in Watertown, New York. this is Aaron Bischoff speaking. The North Country is still recovering from a very significant windstorm Tuesday night, many without power for days, some still without power. And now here we go into another storm. So there's some, anxiety there. You've mentioned a lot about Long Island and Western New York, sending resources there, implementing a travel ban in the Western New York area. What, if anything, is the state doing to help the North Country and the Watertown area?
Right, and that's an important question to ask. We are watching the weather patterns directly with respect to the North Country. We have said that this event that's going to hit Western New York will more likely simultaneously hit this part of the North Country. Again, we talked about this being a great lake effect snow, two lakes, Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, and Lake Ontario is what affects Watertown. We have our commissioner in charge of the PSC, Rory Christensen, who is monitoring the restoration of power, and we've been pushing our crews. We're not taking crews from that area. In fact, we're continuing to make sure they're doing everything they can to restore the power. So I'll let him answer any questions on the restoration efforts there, but also the highways and any need to ban tandem or empty trucks on the highways up there. I'll leave that to Commissioner Dominguez or Commissioner Bray. So we have not taken our eye off the ball in the North Country whatsoever. It's an important part of our state. We're in regular communication with their emergency personnel to make sure that we're ready for anything they need. We're ready, prepared to send National Guard there if necessary, if they get hit hard, and any search and rescue teams that are necessary. So it's very much top of mind for us as well. Commissioner Christian?
Thank you, Governor. So in the Watertown area, we currently have roughly 2,100 utility workers deployed, working on over 100 restoration efforts right now. The number of outages has significantly declined. I think we only have roughly 3,000 households without power, and we're working with the utilities to coordinate that restoration as quickly as possible. From a pre-staging perspective, we already have the workers there. We have a total of 11,000 full-time employees deployed throughout the state in anticipation of the storm. So we're taking restoration efforts very seriously, and we're incorporating lessons learned from past events to both restore faster and also limit the downtime of any future outages.
Commissioner Bray or Commissioner Dominguez, anything on the tandem truck ban, if it's necessary, on some of these state roads in the North Country?
Governor, this is Marie Therese. At this point in time, we are not looking at an additional ban of empties or tandem tractor trailers up in the North Country. I will tell you that we are working very diligently, not only on the cleanup from the storm earlier in the week, and the effect that it's had on some of the roads. We had a number of trees that were down in Jefferson County in particular, and up in the Watertown area, and getting those trees cleared, roads back open, and any roadways that had been flooded, we're clearing, and we're prepared again. We're looking at cleaning drains, culverts, et cetera, to make sure that as this new storm comes in, that we're not only prepared, but we've got the roadways in good working order so that we can clear them as quickly as possible and our plows can get through.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Dominguez. Was there a follow-up?
I was just gonna say, what we're expecting in the North Country is about a foot of snow and winds up to 50-mile-an-hour gusts. And so certainly a storm, certainly needing to get power back on, and we'll keep monitoring it, but less intense than what we expect to see out off of Lake Erie.
Okay. With that, I thank everyone for their participation today. Again, we're very concerned about the safety of all New Yorkers over the next couple of days, and those who are choosing to venture out into a very significant playoff game this weekend. We're going to make the roads as safe as we possibly can. And for those who are thinking of traveling in from faraway places like Pennsylvania, as I've said before, the safest thing is probably just stay home, and you'll be better off and safer for it. Go Bills. Thank you.
Does Mayor Evans still need as much migrant funding as he said prior? I mean, he just said that he's restoring cuts to, or intended cuts to the NYPD, FDNY, because they found savings with the migrant crisis. Do you think that's going to make you reevaluate how much money you're going to give in the budget?
We are intensely focused on that question. We had meetings on it yesterday, meetings all this weekend to try to do what we can. Last year, we had $1 billion allocated. At the time, the number of people who had come here was significantly lower, and it's very, very difficult to make a calculation because at the time that seemed like it would be sufficient. We ended up approaching closer to $2 billion because of the enormous influx of individuals who found their way to New York State, New York City. So this is the challenge of coming up with an estimate and reserving the right to make adjustments mid-year if necessary, as we did last year. So it's an imprecise prediction. It's an imprecise prediction because the mayor doesn't know, we don't know, and we're very, very hopeful that the federal government will find a way to manage the border in a way that has not happened thus far, because that is where the people are coming from and coming right to New York City. So we're going to be there to help the mayor. It's a daunting challenge. He has done an enormous job, an incredible job in light of these unprecedented challenges. As I've said before, this is the largest migration of humanity since World War II. So even comparing us to past administrations or even what happened under the Trump administration, it's all irrelevant. The volume we've never seen this volume in our nation in its history. So that's what we're wrestling with. We try to be as precise as we can. We'll do our very best, and always having to make adjustments, the mayor, ourselves, and so we don't know exactly how that's going to land. All right, thank you very much, everybody. Be safe.